So first of all, in order to install Eclipse, you need to have Java installed on your system. So in order to install Java JDK, you just need to go to your favorite browser and search for Java JDK. And if you want to install Java JDK 8, then you can click on this link which says Java SE Development Kit 8, and this will redirect you to this page where you can install Java Development Kit 8 on your Windows 10 operating system. So you just need to accept the license agreement, and then you can just download this executable file and run it, and Java will be installed. If you want to install the latest version of Java, which is Java JDK 10 at the time of making this video, then you can click this link which says Java SE downloads. I will put the link in the description, so you can directly click on this, and then you just need to go to this page, and you can see Java Platform JDK 10 is the latest version. So I'm going to click on this, and once again you just need to do the same. You just need to accept license agreement, and then you can install JDK 10. So whatever version of JDK you want to install, you can install it from this oracle.com website. In case you face any problem in the installation of Java JDK, I have already created a video in which I have shown you how to install Java 10 on your Windows 10 operating system. So first watch that video, install Java JDK on your Windows 10 operating system, and then come to this video. So once you have Java installed on your system, we are ready to install Eclipse on our Windows 10 operating system. So just once again go to your favorite browser and search for Eclipse, and the first link which will appear here will be from eclipse.org. So I'm going to click on this link, and you can directly see this download button on the top, or if you want to learn more about the latest version, which is Eclipse Photon, you can click on the learn more button also, which is going to redirect you to the Eclipse Photon page. From here also you can just click the download button. So I'm going to click on the download button, and now I can see this web page, and here I can see the download button, and this file will be installed. So this file will be an executable file which we can execute on our Windows 10 operating system. So I'm going to click on this downloads button, and you can see the download of this Eclipse -inst -win64.exe has been started. So I will wait for the download to complete. So now this executable file is downloaded on my system. Don't click on this executable file yet. I'm going to go to the folder where it's downloaded. So I'm going to just say show in the folder where it's downloaded, and here it is in my downloads folder. So I want to open it as an administrator. Okay, so just right click on this executable file, and then just click on this option which says run as administrator. Okay, this is important, and then click yes. And I'm going to minimize this folder explorer, and I'm going to minimize this browser also. And once your Eclipse installer is started, you will see the interface like this. So you will be able to download Eclipse IDE for Java developers from here, or Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, or Eclipse IDE for C++, PHP, and other languages. So what we are going to do is we are going to install the first option, which is Eclipse IDE for Java developers. So I'm going to click on this option, and now you will see the next window here, and this will be the location where Eclipse IDE will be installed. And then it says create start menu entry and create desktop shortcut. I want both of them, so I will leave everything as default, and I'm going to click on the install button. And first of all, you will see this kind of license terms and conditions. So I'm going to click on accept now, which is going to start the installation of Eclipse IDE. So now the installation of this Eclipse IDE has been completed, and I can see this launch button. So I'm going to click on this which is going to launch the Eclipse IDE on my Windows 10 operating system. And first of all, when Eclipse IDE starts after the installation, it will ask you to select a directory as a workspace. So if you want to change this workspace directory, you can browse for that directory which you want to set it as a workspace, and then you can just click on use it as a default, and then I'm going to just click on the launch button, which is going to launch the Eclipse IDE. And now you can see this Eclipse IDE has been started. So let's create a Java project in order to verify if everything is working fine. So first of all, what I will do is I will just click on this file option, and I'm going to just go to new, and then I'm going to just click on this option which says Java project, and then I'm going to just give the name of my Java project, which is hello world. And then you can see under JRE, Java SE10 is chosen automatically by Eclipse IDE for us. If you have the different version other than Java SE10, then that version will be displayed here. Okay. And then under the project layout, there are two options: use the project folder as the root for the source and the class file, and the other is create a separate folder for source and class file. So I will also leave this as default, and I'm going to click on the next button, and here you will be able to do more settings about your Java project. I'm going to leave everything as default, and I'm going to click on finish, and I'm going to just click on create button, and this is going to create your hello world Java project. Now you will see here this Java project is not shown here because I need to minimize this welcome window. So just click on this minimize button, which is going to minimize this welcome window, and then you will be able to see this kind of hello world project here. So you can see our Java project has been created, and this has a file called module-info.java. For now, I'm going to just remove this file, and I will create a new class file. So I'm going to just right click on the source, and then I'm going to choose new, and then I'm going to choose the class option from here, and I want to name my class as demo, for example, and then I'm going to leave everything as default. And in here, under which method stub would you like to create, I'm going to choose this checkbox which says public static void main, which is going to create this public static void main method for me, and I'm going to click finish for now. And this is going to create this demo.java class, and here you can see public static void main method has been created. So let's print something. So I'm going to just write system dot out dot print ln for print line, and let's print hello world for now. So I'm going to just write hello world in between the double quotes, and I'm going to save this Java file, and I'm going to run this Java file using this green button here, and you can see hello world is displayed on the console. So in this way you can download and install Eclipse IDE on your Windows 10 operating system. Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can install WindowBuilder plugin in your Eclipse IDE. It's also called GUI plugin, and this GUI plugin enables you to develop your Java GUI applications in Eclipse. So let's see how we can install this WindowBuilder plugin. So fire up your Eclipse and go to the help tab here, and then go to install new software, and in here in the work with space here, you need to click this combo box here, this one, and it will give you some options. And what we want to choose here is http://download.eclipse.org. It will be there also in your Eclipse also, slash release slash. I have the latest version, which is Luna, but if you have some other version, it will show you that version of Eclipse, for example Juno or Kepler. So just select this option which says http//download.eclipse.org, download.eclipse.org/release slash whatever version of Eclipse you have. I have Luna, so I will select this Luna. Okay, and this will give you some options here. What option we are interested in is called general purpose tool, this one. Okay, so just select this general purpose tool and then search for, so go down a little, and in here we are searching for swing designer. So everything which is under this swing designer or below this swing designer, you need to check this. So this is swing designer, and I will check all the option below swing designer up to the end of window builder. Okay, all these things, window builder, and so all these option which says window builder or swing designer, you need to check. Okay, window builder and swing designer. Okay, and once you are selected all these options related to Windows Builder and Swing Designer, what you need to do, you need to just click this next button, and it will calculate the requirement and dependencies. It will give you this list here, and you can review your items once again and click next. And this is the license terms and condition. You say I accept terms of license agreement and click finish, and then the installation of software will start. So it will take some time depending upon the speed of your internet and the selection of your files. So if you have selected more files or more software to install, it will take more time. And let's see how much time it takes here. If it will take more time, I will just pause the video and restart it once it's installed. So I think I will pause the video once this installation is complete, and then I will continue with this video. Okay, or it's already finishing. Yes, it's finished. Okay, so it says you will need to restart Eclipse for the changes to take effect. Would you like to restart? So I will say yes, I want to restart, and will restart my Eclipse. You see I have Eclipse Luna installed, which is the latest version at the time of making this video. And it will load all of your plugin you have installed. And now Eclipse has started. Okay, so once you have successfully installed these WindowBuilder plugin and Swing Designer plugin, you can develop a project using these WindowBuilder and Swing Designer. So how you can create a new project using these WindowBuilder? Just go to File, New, Java Project, and in here you will be able to see the options to make the Java project. But I think I should go to New, and in here you should go to Others here, right? So go to New, and then it will show the options Others. So go to Others or Other, and in here search for Window Builder. So this is the Window Builder, and in here search for Swing Designer and select application window. Okay, So go to Window Builder, Swing Designer, and select this application window here. Okay, and click Next. And now you just need to give the path, or give the path to your or give the name to your project. I will give the name to my project as Hello World project. And for example, I want to change this location of the folder. I can uh, choose the location. Right now I already have this project Hello World here, so I will not change the default location, but yeah, I can do it with. And it says type the name with same name but different case exists. So I will say Hello World class, for example, and it says the use of default package is discouraged. I will go and finish this. And now I will have this designer tool here. So it has generated me this code, and when I go to this design tab, it we are right now in the source tab. So when we go in the design tab, we will be able to see the design view of this code. So this is what Eclipse window builder has generated for us. It will take some time to go into the designer view for the first time. And you see we are in the design view. Okay, so this is the frame which you get whenever you create a new window builder project, right? You can drag and drop these palette tools from this palette to the to this frame. So for example, I can drag and drop this J button here. In order to drag and drop this J button, I need to have this absolute layout. So this all I will show in the next video, but let's see what can we do with this. So for now I'm just going to run the blank frame here, and in the later video I will show you how you can design this frame with J button or J text field or J radio button or other tools which are there in this palette. So what I'm going to do is I will just run this, and you will be able to see this frame which is blank right now. But when we design our frame with some buttons or menus and all the other things, this will look really interactive, and you will be able to design your GUI with this window builder tool. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how you can write your first program using a GUI plugin or Java builder. And we are going to make our first project in which we are going to make the Java GUI using window builder plugin. So let's get started. Just fire up your Eclipse IDE, and we already have installed window builder. So when you go to file here and choose new option here, first of all what you need to do is you need to create a new project for building your application. So what you need to do, file, new, and just say new Java project, this one. And in here you need to give the name for your project. Okay, so for example I am going to give the name Java GUI demo, for example. Okay, and then all the settings will remain same. I will click next, and everything is okay. I will click once again finish. So it has created a new project for me, which is Java GUI demo, and there is nothing much in this project folder instead of this subfolder called source, and there is no file inside this subfolder. So we are going to add a project file or Java file in here uh, to make our GUI. So go to your project which you have created and go to this source folder, subfolder there, and right click this source folder and go to new and go to others or other. This is the last option. Okay. And in here we are searching for Windows Builder, which we have installed in the last video. So just search for this option called Window Builder, and in this Window Builder we are searching for Swing Designer, and we want to select application window from here. Okay, so just select in Window Builder Swing Designer application window, this one. Click next, and now you need to give the name to your class for that new window. So I will name it as for example frame 1. Okay, and I will click finish, and this will create me this frame1.java class. And in here it's, you can see already some of the code which is generated by Eclipse for you. Okay, and when you click this, you have this design view of your project. So there is a source view of your project and the design view of project, and in this design view you can design your frame, whatever application you are working on. And in the source view or your source code, you need to write the code behind your GUI. Okay, so we will start with this design view. One thing you will notice that it's a very small area you are working on, and to increase this area so that you can easily see this whole frame and other things, you just need to go here at the top where your frame1.java tab is there. Just go there and double click it. So click this 2 times, double click it, and it will increase your area and it will hide all the project wizard here and class wizard here. Okay, and when you want to go to once again to the last view, you just double click it once again. Okay, so double click, it will maximize, and double click, it will come to its real state. Okay, so double click this, and now we can see this frame much easily. Okay, now to add a component in this frame, there is this wizard or this palette called tool palette, and in here you have different tools to add into your frame. Okay, so you have some button, radio button, and different panels, split panels, and different kind of tools which you can use to make your GUI application, right? So first of all, we need to add a layout to our frame. So there are different type of layout, but for the first video tutorial, I'm going to use this absolute layout, which is really easy to work with. Okay, so I will just click this once. You just need to click this. You don't need to drag to your frame. You just click it and just move your mouse on your frame. Okay, so click and move your mouse on your frame and just click it once again, and then this layout will be added to your frame. This is a layout, so you will not see any change because it's a layout in your frame, so it will not be directly visible. Okay, so just click this and add it here, right? In the same way, for example, I want to add a button to my layout, which I have just added, which is absolute layout. I will click this J button from here, just click it and then move your mouse to your frame. Okay, and just click it once again and it will leave it. Okay, and when you leave it here, you can edit your content, or you can edit the text of this button directly from here. Or you can, what you can do here, you can right click and you can do some of the things from here also, auto size and the things like action perform. This is very important here. And otherwise what you can do is you can select your tool or component and you can go to the properties of that component, and these are the property you can change for this component. So there are different properties for this component, and one of the property is this text property. And you can see in front of text property, the text is new button, and this is the text on your button. So you can change this text by just going to this text property, and you can add your text there. So I can add, for example, show message. Okay, so I want to show some message when I click this button. Okay, and there are some other properties which you can use. For example, you can change the font. For example, if you want, just click this font button here, there's 3 dots button, and you can make it bold, and you can make or increase the size of this text. Okay, and you can even use different font family with your button, and click OK, and then you will be able to see the change immediately on your button. Okay, you can also change the background. You can just click this, and there are different background for this button, and there are different colors, swing colors, named colors. So you can do many things with this background. Okay, and there is something called foreground. So background will change the background of this button. So for example, I want to have the green background, light green, or this light green background, and I will click OK, and this will change the background, right? And I want to change the foreground of this. I can do it also by going to the foreground property, and I can choose the foreground, for example, little bit dark. Okay, for example, I choose this as a foreground, and when I do this text, you will see the color of this text is changed. Okay, so in this way you can play with the properties. There are many properties you can play with, and you will be able to change the property of your tool or your component. Okay, then what you need to do is, for example, you want to perform some action when you click this button, so you need to write some code for that. Okay, so for example, I want to show some message when I click this button. How can I do it? I will just right click my button and I will say add event handler. Okay, add event handler, and the first event handler, this is a very basic event handler for every component, which is action performed, and this indicates to the basic action performed by the component. So you can just go to action and just click action perform. When you click this action perform, you will reach to the code behind or source for this button action performed here. So you will see this here, public void action performed, right? And in here, in this method, inside this action perform of this button, what you can do, you can write the code to perform some action. So for example, I want to show some message when I click this button. I will go to the design view once again, and you can, what you need to do in order to go to the source code for this button action perform, one, you can do this one, action perform, or add handler and action performed from here, or otherwise you can directly double click this button for action perform. Just double click it and you will reach to the same code here. For example, I want to show some message, so I can write J option pane dot show. So you can see some IntelliSense text come here. So whatever, so this Eclipse IDE supports IntelliSense, and by the use of this IntelliSense, you will be presented some of the possible options which you can use it with your code. Okay, so I will say show message. I want to show some message, so I will just write and double click it, and you will also see the when you hover over this method, you will be able to see some help in here which you can see, and you can read about this, what this code do. Okay, so I want to show some message. So the first argument for this will be null, and the second argument will be the message which you want to show. So in the double quotes I can give my message. So for example, I can say hi YouTube, or something else, or whatever message you want to show. So I want to show hi YouTube. Okay, and once again I can go to the design view, or I can go to the source view from here and here also, and I just will run this code from here. So when I click this green button here, it will give me the resource or save the changes. So it will ask me, do you really want to save the changes, and then it will compile your program. So yes, I want to save the change, so I will say select this frame1.java file and click OK. It will save my changes and it will show me this message here, right? And not the message but the frame, yeah, which is called JFrame. And you can see the background of this button is green and foreground is little bit dark. Okay, when I click this button, I want to see the message which I have written, hi YouTube. So I will click this button and you can see the message here, hi YouTube. Okay, once again, so you will be able to see the messages like this. Okay, so background color, I really don't I don't really use this background color. I like the inherent color of these component, which is this inherent color here. So the second thing, for example, I want to add a text box. So what you need to do, take a text box from here and click this JText field and just move your mouse to the frame and just click it once again, and it says some error. So I will remove this text box for now because it's giving me some error. So let's remove this text box for now. Okay, once again I will reach to the message box. So for example, I will take a J label if I can find it. Is there any J label here? J list editor. So you need to find your components from here. So here it is, the J label. So I can just click this J label and drag and drop to my JFrame, and I can change the text of this J label from here also or from here also. Okay, so new label, I can change the text message. Okay, and it will show message here, right? Or I can change the variable name for this. So when you are using bunch of different labels here, and you want to know which label is performing what, you need to change this variable name from here in order to know what this label is doing. So you can just write label, and this is the variable name by which you will recognize your label or any component. So you can change the variable name from here. So I will say label message. Okay, so it has changed the name of this label, and then I can just double click this, and instead of using or showing the message from this J option pane, what I can do, I can show the message in the label also. So I will say the name of the label is, if you can see here, the name of the label is, I have changed it to LBL message. This is, so just copy this, and in this button action perform, just paste it and then write dot. So what was the name of my label? Yes, this was the name of my label, and I can say it's not showing anything. Let's see why. So I found out what the problem is. When I dragged and dropped this label in here in my frame, and when I have seen this label, its code is generated locally here. So you see a J label and then the declaration of my label name or variable. So what I need to do here is I need to copy this J label and the name of the label, and at the top, at the very top of my class, just after wherever you see private JFrame frame, just below that, just write the declaration of the label also. So just check whether it's already there. If it's already there, then it's okay, otherwise we have to do it manually. Okay, so just you need to just forward declare your label name as a global variable here, and in here you just need to remove this J label from here. Okay, so wherever your J label declaration is there, you just need to remove it, and then this makes this label as a global variable, and it can be called from other functions also. Okay, so this is why we have done this, because whenever we have dragged and dropped this label in here, its code was generated locally by Eclipse, and we wanted to use this label in other functions also. Okay, this label name. So what we have done, we have changed the declaration of this label as private J label, the name of the label which you have given it, and we have removed the declaration of this J label here, and just we use the name J label is equal to new J label, and this makes your J label global. And then you can go to design once again, double click your show message once again. I'll make it bigger. Show message once again, and in this action perform of this public void action perform, you can use this label message dot set text, and I can set any text to this label. So for example, I want to just set the same text to the label also. I can do it like this. Okay, so label dot set text, and I will just save my program and I can run this. And when I click this show message, now this label is showing hello, and it's not showing the full YouTube because we need to resize our label from here. So I can resize my label like this. Okay, and now the size of label is bigger, and now when I run the program once again, it will show the full message, hi YouTube here, right? So this is how you can create your first project using WindowBuilder in Eclipse IDE. Now in this video we will make some useful application, a simple calculator to add or subtract two values which we enter in the text box. So let's get started. I have this blank frame here, and I have taken this absolute layout inside this frame, and then I'm going to take two text boxes here, text box 1 and text box 2. So once again, text box 2. Okay, so I have these two text boxes. First text box name is text box field, I will name it as text box field num1, and the second text box name I will change it as text box field num2. Okay, so in these two text boxes we are going to enter our two numbers which we want to add or subtract. Okay, now I will take I will take a button or two buttons, one for adding, so I will take this button, one for adding and one for subtracting, for example. If you have observed, when you want to drag and drop, or when you want to take a same tool two times, you need to just click on some other component and go on the same component once again, and yet then you will be able to drag and drop the same component once again here. So in this text box I will change in this button I will change the text of this button as add, and the second text box text as minus, for example. Okay, and then what I can do is I want to show the answer somewhere, right? So I can show this answer in a label or a text box, whatever you want. So for example, I want to show the answer in the text box here. Okay, and I will take this label to show that this is my answer. So I will drag and drop this label, and I will just move this, and this label, the text of this label is the answer is, for example, and the answer will be shown in this text box. Okay, and you can change the property of this label, you can change the font size. So I will give the bigger font size and bold, and let's see what kind of font family we can use. So any font family, for example this Times Roman, or okay, I will take this, and I want to make my font a little bit bigger, so now I can see this. So I have three text boxes and two buttons, one label which will show that what will be the answer in this text box. Okay, I will first of all I will click this add button, so I can double click it, or I can go to right click, add event handler and action perform. Okay, so this time I'm going to double click this button, and we reach to the action perform for this new button which is called add. Okay, and in here first of all I will write a try catch block so that user can enter any invalid number. For example, he may not enter a number, he may enter some letter or word or something, which is not valid. So we need to catch that exception. So that's why we need to use try catch block, right? So we will use a try catch block here, and this is how you can write a try catch block. Just write try and these two curly braces, and after these two curly braces you catch your exception if any exception occurs. So you can catch your exception in this catch block, and I'm simply showing some message in the catch block. So if our program throws any error while we are adding these two numbers, I will catch the exception and I will say please enter valid numbers. Okay, so this message dialog I have shown you in the last video, how to show a message using J option pane, right? If you remember. And in this try catch block, or in this try block, I'm going to write my code. But above this try block, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare two numbers, or yeah, I'm going to declare two integer numbers. So what I am going to do is I will declare two integer variables, int num1 comma num2, and I will need a answer variable also to store the answer. So I will say ans. So I have declared three variables, num1, num2 and ans. So this number 1, we will transfer the value from the first text box to this number 1. So I will say num1 is equal to, so num1 is equal to, and then whenever we take the value from the text box, we need to convert this value into the integer, right? From the text box we are going to get the value as a text, and we need to convert this value in the integer. So how you can convert this text to integer? You need to pass it. So you can just write integer dot parse int, and this can take a string. So what you get from the first text box, you can transfer it inside this parse int as an argument. So our first text box name is, let's see what is the name of our first text box, text field num1, right? Go to the source code, and inside this parse int argument I can write text field num1 dot get text, right? Because we are getting the text. Okay, in the same way we will transfer the value from the second text box field num2 to the num2 variable, right? Integer dot parse int, and this will be text field num2. Okay, now once we have our values from the text box in these two variables, we can add these two numbers. So we can write answer is equal to num1 plus num2, right? And we can show this answer to the third text box, which was this text box, right? So we can say the text box field, I will change the text box field variable name as ans, text box field ans. So we know that it's an answer text field. And then in our code, what we can write, we can take the name of this text box field ans dot set text, and we are going to set this number in this field, right? So what we are going to do is we can just transfer our answer, which is this one, ans answer variable, to the argument for set text, right? So as an argument for set text in here. and this will show this error because it's not a text, right? It's a integer, and we need to convert this text to this integer to text, right? So to convert this integer to text, what we need to do here in the text box field answer dot set text, first we need to convert this answer to text field. So we will do it like this. This is an integer, so we'll write integer dot to string, just write to string, and this will take this answer integer, okay, as an argument here like this. So our code for addition will look like this. This is our code. First we have taken the value from the first text box to the number 1 variable. Same we have done for number 2 variable. We added these two variables and transferred the value to the text box as an answer. Same we will do for the subtraction button, which is minus button, right? Double click this, and in this extra action performed of this button, I will just copy this code which I have written in the last action perform of this add button and paste it into the action perform of minus button, and the only change will be this. This will be now minus, right? And then it will work. The only thing you may need to consider is this exception E. It's showing duplicate parameter E. You can name it as E1 so that this E and this E doesn't clashes. Okay. Now we are going to run our program, compile it and run it, and hopefully it will not give any error. Okay, so it's not giving any error. And for example, I want to add 555 and 666, not this one but 666, right? And I want to add them. The answer is 1221, right? For example, I want to subtract them. The answer is minus 111, right? I can do it some other values, or I can just give some value which is not integer. For example, some word or some letter, and let's click this answer button. It shows please enter valid number because we have added this try catch block, and this is catching any error if the user enters any invalid number. Okay, so this is how you can create a simple calculator using your window builder in Eclipse. Now I want to build from this video a small little project so that I'm going to build this project and I'm going to teach going to try to teach every tool or component we have in here by building that project. So in a way you will build a project also, and you will learn how to use these components or tools also. So from this video I am going to create a connection to the database with this Java application. So I'm going to use SQLite database for connection to this GUI which we are making in Java, and we are going to make a little login page in connection with this database. But first of all, I want to show you how you can create your database in SQLite. SQLite is a serverless database. That means you can transfer this database from one computer to another without worrying for the connection to the server. So it's not server-based database. It's a kind of local database which exists on one computer only. Okay. So let me show you how you can first of all create a database. I will show you the simple method. There can be other method for creating SQLite database, but what I find simple, I'm going to show you. But if you don't know about SQLite, how to use SQLite, what you can do is you can go to my channel, which is YouTube/programming knowledge, and you can find their SQLite tutorial. If you are really new to SQLite database, you can find those tutorials here. So go to my channel, which is programming knowledge, and go to playlist, and in here you will be able to find this playlist in here. So this playlist is called SQLite database. So this is the playlist which I'm talking about, beginners SQLite tutorial, and in here I have explained how you can create database, query to the database, and some of the basics of SQLite. But in this video also I'm going to show you how you can easily make SQLite database in your computer. So the easiest thing is to use Firefox as a SQLite manager. So if you don't have Firefox, just download this Firefox from internet. It's free, as you all know. And in here in the Firefox, I have the newest version of Firefox, which is Firefox, I think 31. So open your Firefox and click this small button here, and in here you will find this different section. What we are interested in is add-ons, so click this add-ons here and search for the add-on called SQLite and press enter, and you will find this SQLite manager 0.8.1. it's free, so just click install and it will be installed in your Firefox browser as a plugin. Just restart your Firefox. So I will once again restart my Firefox, and now how to search for that SQLite manager in Firefox. So in the older version, it was really easier to find this SQLite manager by going to the top menu, but in this new Firefox you need to go to customize. So just click this customize here, and in here you will be able to find your SQLite manager, right? So just drag and drop this SQLite manager in this menu in here, okay, and you will be good to go, and just exit customization, and now you will be able to see SQLite manager here. Just open this SQLite manager and we are ready to create our SQLite database. It's really simple to make SQLite database in this SQLite manager. To create a new database, you can go here and say new database and give the name of the database. For example, I want to create a database for employees, so I will say employee, what we can say, employee data database, okay, and this will create an extension .SQLite. It will automatically give an extension to your database as .SQLite, but it's not necessary that all SQLite database has the same extension. They can have .db extension also or other extension also, but SQLite manager in Firefox create the extension .SQLite, so don't worry about it, and click OK. And now it will ask for the location where you want to save your database, okay. So save a location which you can locate later, right? So for example, let's say, where can I save my database? I will go to user and I will go to the same workspace which I'm using for this Eclipse, okay. You can save it anywhere. It's not, I mean, it's not necessary that you need to save it in the specified folder. You can choose any folder of your choice and just select that folder, and then this SQLite database will be created there, okay. Now in order to add tables, you need to right click. Right now whenever you create this database, it has 0 tables, so you need to add tables. So just right click this tables here and click create table, and in here you can create a table. So for example, I name my table as employee info table, and here I can make the column names. So the basics you can find on my playlist of my channel, but I will quickly create these columns. First column will be EID, second column will be name, third column will be surname, fourth will be username, fifth will be password, and for example sixth will be age. For now I need these columns. Maybe I will add more columns, but for now it's okay. EID will be integer data type, and name will be text, and surname will be text, username will be text, and password will be text, and my age will be integer. Okay, so I have quickly created this database, and for example I say EID is my primary key. I will click OK and click yes. So now I have one table created in the SQLite manager, and in this table I can add some data. Okay, so how to add data? You can just make it bigger and just go to the table and go to browse and search here. And to add some data, you can just go to add, and for example employee ID 1, name is Mark, some surname, username for example 1, you can give any username, password also 1 for example, and age is 35 for example. Okay, so I have added one data. I will once again add the second data. This is John, some surname, and username 2, password 2, age 25. So I have two rows of data I have created, and this is your database. And so once you create your database, and wherever you have given the location for saving this database, you will find this database there. So I will look for this database once again where I have saved. I have saved it in workspace. You can see employee.sqlite database here, right? So this is the database I have created, and it has some data. Okay, now I can close this Firefox browser, and I will create a new project. This I have been showing you in the last two videos, but I will create a new project for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will close this for now. I will go to File, New Project, and I will name this project as Company Project. Okay, and everything will remain same. I will click Next, and I will click Finish. So it has created me a project called Company. It has subfolder called Source and some libraries. Okay, in this I'm going to add a class. So just go to the source folder, right click it, and go to new, and I'm going to add a class, and this class I will call as SQLite connection class. So this class will help us to connect to the database, and make sure this is not checked. Public static void main is not checked. It's unchecked. Okay, so this method, this class will not contain the main method. Okay, this is our helper class, and just click finish. Now you have this Sqlite connection class. It doesn't have anything other than the class name. So what we are going to do is, in here we want to import some of the imports to connect to the database. First import is import java.sql dot star or asterisk. Whenever you use this asterisk, this means that this will be SQL, right? So whenever you use this asterisk after dot, it means whatever class this SQL namespace or whatever have, it will add all the classes related to SQL. Okay, and the second import is import Java X dot swing. Okay, so we have created two imports. Now I will create a method which will be a public method, public static, and this method will return the connection. So I will say connection, and the name of the method will be for example db connector. Okay, and this will take no argument, and this will take, we will start the method and end the method like this. So let's create a global variable. Maybe we will use this in future. So just write connection con is equal to null, and do it like this. And so this connection is a part of your java.sql class. You see, when you hover over this, this is a part of your java.sql.connection class, right? That's why I have used this. And this method will return the connection. And first of all, in the last video, I've shown you how to create a try catch block. So just make a quick try catch block, try catch, and it will take exceptions. So just write exception E, and if any exception occurs, I will show it in option pane dot show dialog or show message dialog, right? Dot show message dialog. Okay, and now I will just pass null here as a first argument, and the second argument I will pass as the exception message. So I will pass this E itself here. Okay, so in this try block, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to define the class for connection to the SQLite. So we will write class dot for name, and this will be in the double quotes, this will be org dot SQLite dot JDBC in capital. Okay, and don't forget to give this semicolon here. So this will be like this: org.sqlite.capital.jdbc. And this is showing error right now because we are not returning anything, but once we return the connection, it will not show this error. So first of all, let's create the connection. So
connection con is equal to write driver manager dot get connection, and this will be the connection. So in this double quotes as an argument, you will write JDBC, and then colon SQLite, because we are using SQLite, SQLITE, colon, and now you will give the path of your database where your database is present. So my database is present at this path, so I will copy this path, or what I can do, I will right click on my database, go to the property security, and I will copy all the path from here. Okay, copy all the path and I will paste it here. Okay, and it will show error because I will show you why it will show error. But first of all, I need to add the name of this database also. So this database name is employee data.sqlite. So / employee, what is it doing? Okay, so it should have this database name, employee data.sqlite. I will write employee data.sqlite. Okay, so first of all, it's showing this error when you write this, because you need to add, whenever you make your path, or whenever you give your path in Windows, you need to give double slashes everywhere here instead of single slash as a path. Okay, and just end this like this. Now it will not give any error. Okay, and once you have your connection, you will return your connection. Just write return con, and as soon as you return something here, you will be able to see that this error will go. So in here also we will return null, return null, and now the error will go. Okay, so this is the connection class which we will use to connect to the database. Okay, now once we have this connection class, we are ready to make the login form, right? So what I'm going to do is I will go to my project once again, go to the subfolder called source, right click it, go to new and go to other, and in here I will choose WindowBuilder, and in SQLite designer I will choose application window. Click next, and now I want to give the path or the name of the new class I'm going to make. So this will be my login class, so I will name it as login. Okay, and I will finish, and now you will be able to see this class which is created for us, right? So we go to the designer, and for this video we will not do much, but we will just check the connection with the database. Okay, so we will leave this as blank, but we will go to the source, and we will go to the source at the top of this in login.java class, and in here I will find the constructor for this login class, which is public login, and it already has this method which is generated by Eclipse, which is initialize method. And just below this initialize method, what I'm going to do is I want to call that class connection Java connection class here to check my connection. So what I'm going to do is I will just go at the top, or you can do it here also, but it's better to do just after this declaration of the frame. But yeah, you can do it just above this constructor, which how you can find the constructor, it has the same name as your class. Okay, so just find the same name as class, and initialize method, it has initialize method, and just above that I will call this class. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, here also first of all I need to add those import which I have used in SQLite connection class. So I will just copy these two imports, which is import java.sql and import javax.swing, right? And I will paste these two connections here. Okay, and now in above your constructor you can write connection con is equal to null, and then we will make a result set, or we will make it later. And this connection con we are going to use globally, so just use this con variable, or I will make it as a more clear connection, so you know that this is a connection to the database. Okay, just call this connection, so just copy this object from here and just write is equal to, and just copy the name of the class, which is SQLite connection class, right? The name of the class dot our method, which is db connector method. Okay, so this db connector is this method. If you can see here, this db connector is this connection, and we can show some message here before returning, so that we know that our connection is successful. So just below this connection in SQLite connection.database, just above return connection, you can show this message that our connection is successful. So I can write connection successful. Okay, so what I have done in the login class, I have just called this connection class from java.sqlite class, and I have in the constructor of this login class, I have just called this connection is equal to the class, which is SQLite connection dot the method in which I have connected to the database. Let's try to run the program, if it works or not. I will right click, and let's see if we can make this project as our main project, or we can, when we run it, we will be able to choose this. So we have this here, login and connection, click OK, and it's saying the message java.long class not found exception org.sqlite.jdbc. Let's see what is the error. Okay, so I will just close this file, and I will find the error and then come back. So I found out the error. The error is I haven't added this SQLite ODBC or JDBC jar file to my project. To use this SQLite database to connect to our project with Java, we need to add some jar to our project, so that we can connect SQLite to the Java. So to download this SQLite JDBC jar file, I will put this link in the description, which is https://bitbucket.org/x ereal/SQLite-JDBC. Okay, so I will put this link in the description, then you will be able to download this file. And in here you need to go to download, and in here you need to download repository. So just click this button, download repository, and it will download a folder like this. So I will open this folder, and in this folder you will have some jars. So I will go to lib, and in here I will search for these jar SQLite, and yeah, include Windows. I will search for these jars now. So I think I downloaded the wrong repository. So this is the repository, but I don't find any jar file there. So I will one by one download all the jar files. So first of all this one, and I will keep it. Second one and the third one, I will keep it all. Keep. And fourth one, keep it. Fifth one, and it will be downloaded. And sixth one, and the seventh one. So I will download all these jar files, and once I have these downloads, I'll go to the folder where I have downloaded them, show in the folder. So these are all the downloads for the jar file I have here. Now in order to add these jar file in your project, what you need to do is go to your Eclipse project in here. So go to your project here, and you will have this JRE system library automatically created by Eclipse for you in your project. So search for this JRE system library, right click it, and go to build path, and in build path go to configure build path. Okay, so once again go to this JRE system library, right click, build path, configure build path, and in here you can add these jar files in your libraries. So to add those SQLite jar file, just go click this add jar button, and then you can browse for your jar files. I think in here there is no jar file, so what I need to do is, first of all, I will make a new folder. So what I have done, I've in source or in company itself, in the project, I will right click in my project and I will create new folder, and in here I will create a folder name, for example resources. Okay, and I will finish. So I have this folder here. So what I can do is, wherever my downloads are, I can just select those downloads, and let's see we can drag and drop these in our folder or not. Drag these files in this folder, copy files. Okay, and now I have all these jar files here. Now I will go to this JRE once again, JRE system library, right click, build path, configure build path, add jar in the libraries, add jar, and in company I have this folder resources, and I think multi-select them and click OK. And once I have done that, let me see if they are there or not. So once I have done that, I think they will be added in here, these files, you see. So I will click OK, and now these files are here, referenced libraries. Okay, so you will be able to see them here. Now, once you have all these SQLite JDBC file, I will run my program once again and let's see what happens. And now I can see connection successful. And when I see connection successful message, I know that I have successfully connected to my database. So don't forget to add these SQLite JDBC jar file, and I will provide the link for them, so you can download all the jar files from that link and just add like I have done. And this message you were seeing when I ran the program, connection successful. Here is the connection. If you see this line which I have created, connection successful, that means you are connected to the database. Okay, once again, connection successful. So in this way, you can create a SQLite database and connect it to our Java GUI project. Hello guys, welcome once again. In the last video, I have shown you how you can create your SQLite database and connect it to your Java GUI application. So I have shown you how to create a database and how to connect this database to your Eclipse web builder GUI application, right? So we have tested our connection like this. So whenever we run the program, it shows connection successful. That means the connection with the database is successful. Okay, and it opens the login page. But in this login frame, we haven't we haven't inserted any tools or components here. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a login page which checks the username and password from the database. So it validates username and password from the database, and if that username and password is correct, then it will give you some message if it's correct or not. So let's get started. First of all, I will just make this window a little bit bigger by double clicking this login.java, and we have some space to work with now, right? So what I'm going to do is I will just resize this a little, and I'm going to take this absolute layout and I will just place it on this login panel, and I will take two labels, label 1 and label 2. So once again, label 2. Okay, so I have taken these two labels, and then I will take the text box 1 and text box 2. Okay, so I have two labels and two text boxes, and I will take a button which whenever user clicks, he will be able to log in. So take a button, once again take a button here, and now I will change the names of these labels or variable name, or I will leave these names for the label as it is. You know how to change the name, variable name, but I will change the text of these labels as first is username. It should be username, and the second label text will be, why it goes to the, so first label text will be username, and the second label text will be password, right? And then what I'm going to do is, I remember one thing: whenever you use or enter any username and password, the password is always hidden. It should be hidden, right? Otherwise the other users can see your password and there is no meaning of password, right? So I will delete this text box because it will show my password to the other user. And what I can use is this password tool. So there is a tool called JPassword field, and this tool we specifically use for password. So just click this and just leave it on your frame, and this we use for entering the password. Okay, so I will resize this here, and this we will use for entering the password. And properties of this password you can see here. Just click this password field and you will be able to see that echo char, and you can change this echo char to any character, and this will be, or your password will be masked with this character. So you can use dollar sign here, or you can use hash or any other character, and it will mask, this character will mask all of your password. So we have done that, and I will change the variable name of these text field. For username, text field UN, for example, and for password, this text field I will name it as password field. So it's the name already suggests that it's a password field, so I will not change the name of the field. But yeah, this I will change the text of this button as login, and I will change the name of this button as btn login. Okay, so now we have this, and maybe you can resize it so that you can see username and password, and you can play with the properties for this. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I will select this login button, right click it, add event handler, action perform, and this will lead me to this login button action perform method, right? And inside this method I'm going to write a code to check the login or username and password, right? So first of all, I will just make a try and catch block, so if any error occurs, it will catch the error. So I will just copy the previous code for try catch, and I will paste it in action perform method, and I will remove all the other code other than my try catch blocks. So I have this try catch block, so if any error will occur, it will catch the any exception. Okay, now in this try block, first thing I will do is I will create a query with the database. If you remember in the last video, in this login.java, we have initialized our connection by our SQLite connection.db connector function. So we have this connection with the database in this object, which is called connection, which we have created. Where we have created this connection, let's see. So this is the connection we have created, right? So this is an object of connection, which is a java.sql class connection. And so if you don't recognize this, just watch the last video once again. Okay, so I'm going to use this connection once again. But yeah, now to the button click event or action perform event of this login button. In this try block, first of all, what I need to do is I need to prepare a query which I want to pass to the database. So I will prepare a query which is a string variable. String, I will name it as query itself is equal to, and in the double quotes and the semicolon I will write the query. So what is the query I'm going to pass? Select asterisk, or select asterisk means select all from the database table name. So my table name here is employee info. This I have shown you in the last video, the table name and how to create a database, right? So select star or asterisk from your table name, and then we will write a where clause. So just write where your username. So what is the name of username? Just as username and password, right? So where username, by the way, SQLite is a non-case sensitive language, so whatever query you are passing, it can be in uppercase or lowercase, but Java is a case sensitive language, so you cannot play with these objects and variables. But yeah, whenever you pass the query, whenever you are building the query, you can use uppercase or lowercase depending upon your priority. So select all from your table name, where username is equal to question mark and password is equal to also question mark. Okay, this is my query. Now I need to make a prepared statement from this query. So what I will do, I will write prepared statement, if the spelling is correct. I don't think it's correct. Let me see. Okay, so we will go further, is equal to, then what I need to do here, I need to pass the query to the prepared statement, right? So I will make an object of this prepared statement. I will name it as PST for prepared statement. Okay, and then I will write connection, which is my object which I've created in the last video, which is connection object. This one, connection is equal to null, right? So prepared statement PST is equal to connection dot prepared statement, and it takes my query. So you see here, it takes the query. So I will write query, and this is the query I'm passing here. So I'm passing the query to the prepared statement. Then I will prepare a result set, but before that, with this prepared statement, I want to pass the values from the text boxes which the user will enter to the prepared statement. So I will write pst dot set string. This will be set string, and this will take two arguments. The first argument will be the parameter index. So parameter index is what? Because we are using two question mark, the index, parameter index of username is 0 and parameter index of password is 1, right? So the index starts from 0, and whatever number of question mark here you have, that much index you will have. So the first question mark, we will have the 0 index, and this, and the second argument for this PST set string is the value which you are getting from the text boxes. So go to the design view, unable to, okay. So I will, for now, I will take this name, which is text field UN, and I will get the text. So I will write dot get text. Okay, in the same way I will just use PST get text for the password. Okay, so PST dot set string, and the index will be now 1, 0 index for username, index 1 for password, right? And the username or password field name is this one, password field dot get text. And as soon as you see here get text, it has the line above get text. That means it will not get text, it will mask your password field by the mask, you see. get text from the password field is deprecated. Okay, so I don't right now. Let's see. I will use it as it is. If it shows me any error, I will use some other method. For now, I will use like this only. Okay, so now I have these values in my query. Now I want a result set, right? So I will write result set. I will name it as rs is equal to, and then this result set will execute my query. Okay, so what I can do, pst, which is my prepared statement, this is the statement I prepared, dot execute query. Whatever query I pass in that statement, I want to execute that query. Okay, so now whenever I execute this query will be executed and the result will be transferred to this rs object. Okay, so in the next line, what I'm going to do, I will make a while loop, because this rs object gives the value one by one. So I will use while, and I will close this while loop here, and I will copy this rs, which is the result dot, and then I will write next. So this will give me the result one by one. And if you see here, this method returns me boolean value. That means until and unless this next is true, or until and unless we are getting the values from the database, this while loop will go on. Otherwise, whenever this method will be false, then it will go out of the loop, right? Okay, so in this while loop, what I'm going to do is, first of all, above this while loop, I will create integer int count is equal to 0. Okay, and this count, I will, in the while loop, I will increase this count. So I will write count is equal to count plus 1. You can use other type to increment this, like for example count plus plus. So it depends upon you, right? For now I'm using count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, and then depending upon the count I get, I want to show the messages. So this count, I will tell you why I have done like that, but I want to show the message on the basis of count first. So if this count is equal to 1, this will be double equal to, right, is equal to 1, then I want to show the message here. I will copy this j option pane dot show message dialog in the if condition, and I will say this one, user name and password is correct. Okay, and else if I get the count greater than 1, then I will say I have duplicate user and password. I will explain you why I'm writing like this. Duplicate user and name and password, and else I want to show username and password is not correct. So I will show the message username and password is not correct. Okay, and I will also show you maybe some message like try again or whatever. So why I have declared this count here is, so once this query is passed and username and password, it checks on the basis of whatever I enter in these text boxes, text box name for the username and text box name for the password, and it will keep the result in this rs, and whenever whatever result rs, this counter will increase. Okay, so if our result, so whenever we pass the query we get the result, and if we get only one result, that means it has matched the username and password, because we only have one result as a result. That means its username and password is correct. If we get no result, then we say username and password is not correct. But if we get multiple result greater than one, that means there is some mistake, there are duplicate username and password in our database. Okay, so I will explain all these condition, or I will show demonstrate all these condition one by one when I run the program. But the one of the most important thing is, whenever you write a query and execute a query, you need to close the connection after you execute the query. So after this try catch block which you have written, what you need to do is, your query is executed, you get the result, and after getting the result you need to close the connection with the database, because SQLite is only providing one connection at a time. Okay, so there is a constraint with SQLite, you need to make one connection at a time with SQLite database. So after this try catch block, at the end of this catch block, you may write finally, and then in finally you can once again write try and catch, and in here you can close the connection in the catch or in the try, sorry. So in here I will write the exception, which I will show you here once again. This will be exception, and in the try I will close the connection. So I have created this prepared statement here, right? So how I can close the connection? If I have these outside these try block, because it will not recognize if they are inside this try block because of the localization constraint. Okay, so now I can use this prepared statement like this, and if it's not showing, unhandled exception. Okay, so let's see, do it here, and instead of using this you can simply do one more thing which is more easier. At the end of this try block, so just at the end of this try block and above this catch block, what you need to do is you just write rs, which is our result set, rs, which is this one, result set object dot close, and pst, which is our prepared statement, right? pst, this one, dot close. And what these two lines will do is, after executing your query, they will close the connection with the database, so that whenever you want to use this connection once again in the other method, you are ready to use the connection and the connection is not open. So these two lines take care of that. Now I will run the program, and you see I have this database open here. So I will show you what happens when this database is open. I will run the program and I will say login.java. okay, first of all I will get the message connection successful. That means I am successfully connected to the database. Then I have these username and password field. and let's see what's there in the username and password. So I have username is equal to 1 for the first employee, username is equal to 1, password is equal to 1, right? So I enter this username is equal to 1, password is equal to 1, and you see here this my password is masked with this dot symbol because I have used password field for that. And I will click this login once again, or I will click this login button, and what happens? Java long array out of bound exception. So I want to see what is this. So I will pause the video and I will see what the error is, and then I will come back. So I found the error which I am facing. So in this try catch block, if you remember, I have written this query, SQLite query, then I have prepared the prepared statement, which is PST. Then I was passing this set string here, pst.setString, and I was writing the index here, right? So index of the text field username was 1 or 0, and index for the password for was 1, right? 0 and 1. So I checked it, and this index starts from a 1, not 0. So this should be 1 and 2. Okay, so this index should be 1 and 2, not 0 and 1. So username for index username starts from 1 and password will be 2. Okay, now when we run the program once again, run the program, connection successful. Let's see what username we have. Username 1, password 1. Okay, I'll write username 1, password 1, password is masked. Login, username and password is correct because it matches the username and password from here. Now suppose we enter some random username which is not there in the database. Okay, I will just click this, and now you see the message username and password is not correct, try again. Okay, I will try again. So if you see here, for employee ID 2 and employee ID 3, I have duplicate username and password. This I have done intentionally to check whether it gives me the result duplicate username and password. So I have for employee ID 2, username and password 2 and 2, and same for employee ID 3, 2 and 2, username and password. So I will write username 2, password 2, and let's see what happens. I get duplicate username and password. That means the username and password for employee ID 2 and 3 is duplicate, so they has to be changed. So we have successfully created a login page using our WindowBuilder GUI application in Java. Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video I'm going to show you how you can add images and icons to your component and to the frame. For example, you want to add some icon to this login button, or for example you want to add some image to this login frame. How you can do it, I will show you in this video. So for example, you want to show some image in here for the login page. So what you can do is you can use this JLabel to have your image inside your JLabel, and I will remove the text inside this JLabel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize this JLabel like this according to the size of the image. For example, I have okay. Now what I'm going to do is in this label I want to set some image. So I want to have some image first, right? So what I generally do is I will go to internet browser and I search for the images which are free to use, images and icon which are free to use, and there are lots of websites which provide images which are free to use or open source, And for example, I will give you an example. I know a site called Icon Archive. This has you see so many number of images and icons, and you can have them for free, right? So for example, I want to have some image for login. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So I will write here login, and you will see some images in here. So for example, I want to have this image in my login frame. I can just choose this PNG. You can even have the size of the image you want to have, right? For example, you want to have 48 by 48. This size will be changed to 48 by 48. Okay, or you can say all, and this size you will get the regular size here. So I want this regular size. I will click the PNG, right click it, and I will say save image as, and I will save this image wherever for in whatever folder I want. For example, I want to save it, this image here. I will save it here in my pictures folder. And for example, I want to have the icon for this login button. Okay, the image I have downloaded right now is for this login frame, and I want an icon here on the login button for this login button. So what I can do, I can search for example, OK icon, and you see here OK icon, and I want to resize it, for example 24 cross 24 pixel, and once again I can click this PNG and I can see this, and I'll save this image as this image on my pictures folder for it for now. Okay, now the next thing I will do is I will change the name because they are quite long. So for example, I will change the name of this picture as only login, and I will change this picture as only OK icon. Okay, now what I need to do is for showing this picture on this label, what I need to do is I will just double click this login.java so I can see my package explorer here. And in my project, what I need to do is just right click your project, in whatever project you are in, and new, and just add a source folder. Okay, so go to project, new, and just add a source folder, and you need to give the name to the source folder. I name my source folder as img for images. Okay, img, finish, and now I have the source folder. And now what I can do is I can go to the pictures which I have downloaded, just select all these picture, drag these picture to this image folder. Okay, drag these picture to the image folder, and you will see this message, click OK, and now you have these pictures inside your source folder. Okay, if you don't see these images inside your source folder, right click and refresh. So now you have these pictures inside your image source folder. What you need to do is next, for example, I go to my project wherever I have created my project. Generally it's in workspace, and the name of the project, my project name is company, and in here I will go to the bin folder, or you see here we have created this image folder, and in this image we have these two images. I will go to the binary folder, and you see here they are copied to the binary folder also, right? So they are automatically copied to the binary folder. I haven't copied them, but when I click refresh, they are automatically copied to my binary folder. Or otherwise, what you can do is you can right click and you can run your project, or you can just run your project once again from here, and these images will be copied in your binary folder here. Okay, so once you have these images in your binary folder, it's easy to use them in your JLabel. So what you need to do here is now just go to, I will just double click and make it bigger, and go to source here and search for this label wherever you have created this label. This label is this one, which has no text here, right? So in here, what I need to do is I need to give the path of the image and set the icon to this label. This is the label I want to set this icon, right? So just below the declaration of this label, you can just set this icon to the label like this. Okay, so just write image img is equal to new image, and what is this? Yeah, so just write this these two lines we need to use, and these two lines, what we are doing, we are just declaring this image. This image is a part of this java.awt.image, this one. Okay, so if this image is showing you any error, just import java.awt.star, so it will add all the awt libraries in your system. Okay, so go to your image and just write image img is equal to new image icon, and inside this bracket, as a parameter, you need to pass this indicate to this class, which is login.java.class.getResources, and inside this bracket we will pass the arguments / and the name of the icon. So the name of the icon or name of the image which I want to show in this label is, name of the icon is login.png. Okay, so I will change this name as login.png, right? And then get image. Okay, so this line will be like this. And now once you have this image from the source code, you just need to pass this image in your label. So just call the name of the label. In my case, this is the label name, which is label itself dot set icon, and inside the bracket just write new image icon and pass this image object here. So you need to write these two lines in order to set your image, and when you go to the design view here, you will be able to see your image. But there is a one catch, you cannot resize your image like this, right? So choose the image which can fit your label. The resizing of image can be done, but it's a long code, and in the beginning video I don't want to show this code to you. So it's easier to have the images which have the same size as your label. So now you have fixed this image in your label. Now you want to have the icon on this login button, right? So what you can do is you can do the same thing. Just go to your code and copy these two lines which I have just explained you, and wherever your login button declaration is, which is, let's see, where is our login button? Here. So we have this login button declaration. Just below this you can set this image, and this image was called OK image, right? So I will just write under the button ok.png, and I will go to the design view and it's not showing. Let's see why. So why it's showing an error? Because I haven't changed this label name as button login. So name of the button, just take the name of the button and in here just paste the name of the button, right? So this code will be like this, and don't forget to change the name of the button, which is this one. And I go to design view once again, I will be able to see this image here. Okay, so in this way you can add images and icons to your components. Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video I'm going to show you how you can open a second JFrame using a first JFrame in your Eclipse GUI application. So for example, I want to open a second JFrame, for example employee info JFrame, whenever user has passed the login test. For example, username and password is correct, then I want to open a second JFrame. Okay, so how can I do it? I will show you in this video. But first of all, I need a second JFrame, right? So I need to create the second JFrame. So I will go to my project, or I will go to my source folder of my project. Company is my project name and this is SRC is the source folder of my project. Right click new and go to others, and in here search for WindowBuilder and search for Swing Designer, but this time we will not select application window. We will select this time a JFrame. Application window will create a main method inside your JFrame, and the main method could be only one, right? And this JFrame is just a frame, other frame. So you need to choose in this Swing Designer JFrame, right? So select this JFrame, click next, and give the name to your class. I give the name to my class as employee is it correct? Or let's say, what can be, sometimes I get confused in the spelling. So once again, employee info. Okay, so my class name is employee info because I am dealing with the employee database, right? So I want to show the employee data in the second form. Okay, so I will name my class name accordingly, and I will click finish, and this will create a second form for me, which is a blank form, which is called employee info.java. You can see here. I go to my design view of this class, which is employee info.java. I will double click on this employee info.java so I can see this. And for now, I will just show some message. I will take a label, but before that, I need to have this absolute layout inside this. And then I will put the label, and I will just say second form for now. Okay, and maybe I can just resize it so we will be able to see the message, and maybe I will change the font size so that it's visible. Okay, so I want to open this frame from my login frame, right? So if you remember, we have written a code to log in username and password, validate username and password, and whenever we click this login button, we will be able to see the message if the username and password is correct or not. So just click this login button once again, and this was the code which I have written. So if you don't remember this code, just see my last videos in which I have shown you how to create a login page. And in here, where my validation is correct, where I'm showing username and password is correct, I want to open the new frame, which is employee info frame, right? And I want to close this frame. Okay, so first of all, I will close this frame. How can I close this frame? Just take the name of your frame. So the frame name is frame only. You see here, private JFrame frame. So take the name of your frame, go to the condition where your username and password is correct. Username and password is correct. I was showing there, and in here frame dot dispose. Okay, this will dispose your frame or hide your frame. Okay, and then I will call the new class. So I will create an object of the new class. My class name is employee info class, right? So you see here, I've created this new class, employee info class, right? So I will write employee info. I will say the object name is emplinfo, for example, is equal to new employee info. So I'm creating an object of this class, and now I can use this object to call the set visible method, which is responsible to make your frame visible. So I use this object, which is emplinfo dot set visible, and what it takes, this method takes a boolean value. So I want to make this true to show this frame, right? So whenever I use this true, then this second class will be visible for me, or second frame will be visible for me. So you just need to write these two lines, right? 2 or 3 lines. And once again, I will run the program, click OK. It will open error exists in required project. Let's see what is the error. I can't see any error here. Let's see if it shows any error. Duplicate local img. Okay, so this I think I have in the last video I have shown you how to show the image, and I think I have created somewhere here some image, which is this. I can call it image1. Okay, now this error will not come. I'll run it once again. Okay, and connection is successful. Okay, and username, I need to give a username and password. I will give the username and password, and when I click this login button, I will see first of all this message, username and password is correct. And when I click OK, you see I can see the second form and first form is disposed. That means it is gone and second form is open. The same thing you can do for calling the login form from the employee form. Okay, so for example, you want to go from this form to the previous form, which is the login form. You can do the same with this.
Hello guys, welcome once again. In the last video I have shown you how to open a second form using your login form in your Eclipse Java GUI application. In this video I'm going to show you how you can load your data in a JTable in this second form. So for example, you have this data in the table in the database, right? I want to show all this data in my JTable in my Eclipse GUI. How can I do this? So I will start with this video by just removing this label which I have used in the last video, and now my form employee info form is blank. Okay, so I will resize this form. And in here I will take a button to load the table, and I will take a JTable. Okay, so search for JTable Here it is. And the trick of using JTable in the form is just select this JTable and then make a big square here. Okay. Otherwise, if you just select this table and select here, click here, then it will not be visible. So select your table and make a big square. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I will right click my table. So I will right click my table and surround my table with J scroll pane. Okay. So right click, once again right click the table and go to surround with, and then surround with java x.swing.j scroll pane. So I have surrounded my table by J scroll pane. Now what I can do is I can change the name of this button as button load table or whatever you feel like, and I will also change the text of this button as load employee data, for example. Okay. You can even change the name of your table, but I will leave it as default. So this table is inside your scroll pane, right? So whenever you select your table, you will see the scroll pane because your table is inside the scroll pane, right? So now once you have these both things, I will just double click my button and I will reach to the source code of this button action perform method. But first of all, I need to connect this form with the database, right? As I have done with login.java class, right? So we have connected this frame to the SQLite class which we have created. So this employee info.java file also we need to connect with the SQLite class. And how we can do it? Just go to your SQLite connection class and take all the import, copy all the imports from here, which is import java.sql.star, import java x.swing.star, and just go to your employee info form and paste these two imports here also. The second thing I have done is I need to make the connection with the class. So I need to declare the connection object. So go to your constructor of the class is the same name as your class name. So just search for the method which has the same name as your class, and this is my constructor. Just go above this and I will declare a connection to my SQLite class, or for example, so I'll write connection is equal to null. So this is a connection object I made, and this connection class belongs to the java.sql.connection class. Okay, so you see here java.sql.connection class, this class. Now go inside your constructor which is the same name as your class, just inside, and copy this connection object, paste it here, is equal to the name of your SQLite connection class. My SQLite connection class name is SQLite connection.java, which we had created earlier. SQLite connection dot the connection method inside the connection class, right? If you have remembered. Now I will once again go to my load table and just click this button once again, and I reach to the action perform method of this button click event, and in here I will write the code. So what I need to do is I need to write the code for this button action perform. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, is the try catch block. So I will just copy the blank try catch block from here, and inside this try block I'm going to write the code first to create the query, and I will pass this query to the connection. So I will write the connection query first. So string, which is query is a string variable, so query is equal to
double quotes and semicolon, and here I will pass the query, which is select star from your table name. My table name in my database is employee info, so I will write it here. Selects all from this employee info. Okay, now next, in the next line I will pass this query to the prepared statement. So I will create a prepared statement. Prepared statement pst is equal to, and take the name of the connection object, which is connection from here, which we have created above. So connection dot prepared statement, we need to write it here. So just copy the connection dot prepared statement and just pass your query here. Okay, so this query string will go here. Now I will declare a result set and which will be my rs variable is equal to, and then pst my prepared statement object dot execute query. So this will execute the query and pass the result to the result set, which is rs, right? Now I will take the name of my table. So first of all, once you have this result set, you can load the table in different ways, and this will be a long task to load this table model, or to convert this result set into a table model and load this. So what is the easy way of doing this is, you can download a class jar file, which is freely available on internet, and I use this class to make my model for the table using this result set. So I'm going to show how you can download this class. Just go to your browser and search for rs2xml.jar free download. Okay, so search for rs2xml.jar free download, and the first link you will find here is from sourceforge.net. Okay, so go to this sourceforge.net, and I will just pass or paste the link in the description, so you can directly click this link and come to this site, and you just need to download this rs2xml.jar. and what this jar is, it contains a class which helps us to convert our result set to our data model. It's just like that. Okay, so once you have this rs2xml jar file in your downloads here, so I have this rs2xml file here, then what I can do is, I can just go to my project explorer here, and in this resources folder which I have created earlier, which contains Sqlite, JDBC or other jar file which I have downloaded earlier, I can drag and drop this rs2xml in this resources folder. Just drag and drop there, and once you have dragged and dropped there and click OK, this rs2xml file will go into this resources folder. Now once you have this rs2xml.jar in resources folder, go to JRE system library here, right click this and go to build path and go to configure build path, and in here in the library tab just add a jar which is there in your resource file, which is rs2xml.jar file. Click OK, click OK. Now this jar file is added to your project, and you can easily use the classes from the jar file in your project. Once again, in my button click event, which is load table button click event, here I have written this code. I have created a query, prepared statement, and passed the query to this connection prepared statement, and this prepared statement I have executed, and I have this result set in this result set, right? What I can do next is, I can copy the name of the table. My table name is, let's see what is the name of the table. So the table name was table. Here you see the table name was table. Okay, so if you don't find the table name, just go at the start of your class where public class declaration is there, your class name extend JFrame, and in here you will find your table name, which is table, right? In our case, just come to your button action perform method here, paste the name of the table, dot add, or not add but set model, table dot set model, if we have this, and in here we will paste our model. So what this jar will help us to use this result set to convert our model. So what we can use is db utils. This db utils is a class inside this rs2 xml, right? So just hover over this and you will find, or let me pause the video and see. Okay, so this db utils is a class inside this rs2 xml jar file. So I will just write this db utils like this. So just write db utils dot result set to table model. Okay, and this db util, first it will show an error, and when you hover over this db util, so just go and uh, hover your mouse above this error for db util, and you will see you need to import this net dot proteinit.sql file. So just click this import here, just click this, and what this will do, it will import this class in here. So net dot whatever this is called, proteinit dot sql dot db util, it will import this, and then your error in the button action perform will go. Okay, so now you have converted with the help of this class your result set into a model which your table takes, and then this result set will be converted to model, and then you can run your program. Now I will run my program once again. Connection successful, username and password. I will give the username and the password. Login successful, and then I can see the second form, and when I click this load table, just see here what happens. It says something. Let's see what is the error. So I will look at the error. SQL error for missing database. Okay, so I know why we are facing this error. I have created this connection class, I think, but yeah, I'm doing this also. So let me find the error and I will come to you. Okay, so I found the error. My query here is wrong. I have written select star form. It should not be form but from, FROM. Okay, so now I have corrected this query, which is select star from. It's not form but from your table name. Once again I will run the program and I will see this second form, and when I click this load table or load employee data, I see my data from the database in this table, right? So I will check with my original database, which is this one, and you can see here the data matches. Employee ID 1234, name Mark, John, Julie, Peter, age 35, 25, 30, 21. You can see here 35, 25, 30. So I have this data in the table. Okay, But for example, for some reason you don't want to show username and password, because whenever you click this button it's also showing username and password, but you don't want to show it. What you can do, you can change the query which you have written here, select star from employee info, instead of star which query all the data. Instead of star, just try select and whatever column you want to select. For example, you just want to show EID, name, surname and age. Just select these column names. Just write select EID, comma, name, comma, surname, comma, age, for example. Okay, so select all the name separated by comma, select EID, name, surname and age from your table name, and once again run the program. And now when I load this, I will only see EID, name, surname and age, which I have passed here. EID, name, surname and age, right? So in this way you can load your data in JTable from your database. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.